Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Abeni. I am 11 years old and I come from a small village called Oyo. It's far away from here and very quiet. There are no cameras there, no big lights, no microphones. This is my first time standing in a place like this. I've never been on a stage before. I've never spoken in front of so many people before. But I'm not scared. I'm here because someone once told me that if I speak from the heart, people will listen. I lost my parents when I was 7. My mother got sick and we could not get her to a hospital in time. She passed away in our small home holding my hand. My father died a year later. After that, I had no one, but I was taken to a home with other children like me. We call each other family now. We don't have much. Sometimes we share shoes and sometimes we sleep on the floor, but we have each other. In the orphanage, there's a small room with old books and broken toys. One day, I found a music box there. It didn't work anymore, but I held it close every night because it reminded me of my mother. She used to hum when she cooked. That sound never leaves my heart. I never thought I would leave the village. I never thought I would be standing here in front of so many kind faces, but I came here for a reason. I came here because I want to be seen. I want children like me to know that we are not forgotten, that we can dream too. I didn't come here to win. I came here so the world can hear my voice just once. Thank you for listening to me. Before I begin, I want to tell you something. There were many days I wanted to give up. There were nights I closed my eyes and wished to sleep forever, just so I could see my parents again. I would press my hands over my ears to block out the crying from the other rooms, from the children who missed their families just like I did. But one night, when it rained hard and the roof was leaking, I heard a voice inside me, not my mother's voice, not anyone from the orphanage. It was my own, and it said, "You are still here, Abeni. That means your story isn't finished yet." That was the first night I stood in the middle of the room and spoke to everyone. I told them a story. It wasn't special, just about a bird that lost its way but kept flying anyway. But when I finished, one of the girls said, "You made me feel warm." And something happened inside me, something small but powerful. I realized maybe I couldn't change my past, but I could help someone feel a little less alone. So I started speaking, I started telling stories, and I started dreaming. Sometimes we don't need big things to feel strong. Sometimes we just need to be heard. And tonight, I want you to hear me. This performance is not just for applause. It's for the little girl inside me who sat under the tree crying. It's for every child who has lost someone and still chooses to stand. It's for my mother, who once said my voice sounded like the wind when I laughed. If she could see me now, I think she would smile, and that would be enough for me. I don't know if I sang perfectly. I don't know if I stood the right way or if I smiled enough. But I closed my eyes, and I saw her. I saw my mother, not in the crowd, not in the lights, but here, inside me. I felt her hand on my shoulder. I felt my father's laugh, the way he used to throw me in the air and say, "You're a star already, little one." Maybe no one else felt it. Maybe they only saw a girl on stage, but I saw a promise being kept. I saw the past, healing. You don't have to win a trophy to feel like a winner. Sometimes just being brave enough to show your heart is everything. Tonight, I showed you mine. And I know somewhere in the skies of Oyo, my parents are clapping. So to everyone who ever felt invisible, to every child who was told their dreams don't matter, to every soul still hurting in silence, you matter. You are seen, and you are not alone. Thank you. I may not be famous. I may go back to my village tomorrow and sit under the same tree where I used to cry. But something inside me has changed. Tonight, I was not just an orphan. I was not just a poor girl from a forgotten place. Tonight, I was someone. I was a voice, a story, a dream that didn't die. When I return home, I will tell the others that we are not broken. That pain does not mean we are weak, that even if the world forgets our names, we still have something beautiful inside us. I will look into the eyes of the younger children, the ones who are still scared to speak, and I will say I stood on the biggest stage in the world, and they listened. Not because I was perfect, but because I was honest, because I was real, because I was brave. My mother used to tell me, when your heart is full, let it pour into the world. Tonight, I poured mine, and if I never come back here again, if this is the first and the last time I stand under lights this bright, then I will carry this moment for the rest of my life, because now I know even the smallest voices can shake the world. Thank you for giving me a place to speak. Thank you for hearing me. Before I leave this stage, I want to say one last thing. This was never just about me. This stage carried the weight of every child who's lost their voice, every girl who's been told to stay silent, every heart that has broken in silence and kept beating anyway. I carried them with me tonight, in every word, in every breath, and I hope someone out there, in a small village, in a dark room, in a quiet heart, hears this and believes they are not forgotten. Because I was once invisible too, but tonight I was seen, and I promise I will carry this moment for all the days my heart still remembers. This is not just the end of my story. It's the beginning of a bigger one where we listen more, love louder, and never, ever underestimate the strength of a child with something to say. Thank you for everything. And now, I can go home with nothing in my hands, but everything in my heart. I came here as an orphan, but I leave here as a voice that was heard. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for feeling me. And thank you for giving my story a place to live forever. Before I go, I want you to remember something. There are children out there, just like me, with no shoes on their feet, no names on their doors, no photographs of their families, and no one telling them they can. But still, they dream. In the dark, they close their eyes and imagine stages like this. They imagine being seen, being heard, being loved, not because they've had everything, but because they've survived everything. I am not the best voice you've heard. I am not the strongest or the most perfect, but I am real, and I am standing, and I am not ashamed of where I come from. If this is the only stage I ever stand on, let it be the one that reminds the world, even those with the smallest voices can carry the loudest hope. Thank you, not just for hearing me, but for feeling me from my heart. And from my home, I send you all my love